Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I thought I'd share yet another one of my short stories. If you guys like these short stories or you just want to support me in your own little special way, you can actually buy my book right now on Amazon. This isn't from that book, but here it is on Amazon. The link for it will be in the description down below, and of course you can always find it in the channel banner in the top right of my channel. So without further ado, that's not right. Without further ado, here is a short story I like to simply call Bedtime. They didn't really want to go to sleep. The moment they entered their room and turned off the light, the feeling of dread replaced the feeling of exhaustion. They stood near the light switch for a few moments as they pondered this feeling. Oh, come on! I've had a long day at work. I come home and have to clean half of it thanks to that random pigeon that flew in, and now I am magically not tired? They complained. Their complaining continued as they flickered the light switch on and off, desperately praying that their exhaustion would come back. When they finally stopped, the lights were on and the room seemed brighter than usual. The eerie feeling grew, and they wondered, were they sleeping? Was this only a dream? There seemed to be no choice but to accept it as a dream and just go with it. They approached their bed and lifted the covers back, trying to control the dream to create something pleasant there. Alas, there was no control here. Disappointment set in, and they fell into bed, defeated. Once in bed, a realization set in. Fuck! I forgot to turn off the light! They exclaimed. They were already comfortable, and getting up to turn off the light would almost certainly result in the loss of that comfort. Would the comfort ever come back if they got up? Oh, hang on, I'll get it, a voice spoke. There was a second of silence and fear that seemed to freeze time. Who the fuck said that? They asked. They questioned their sanity next when the voice responded again. Me? This time, the voice was clear. It was coming from under the bed. Upon checking the edge very carefully, a person stuck their head out from under the bed. Ah! The head remained motionless as the scream continued for a tad bit longer than it should have. I mean, it really took a while before the screaming ended. Like, seriously. You're me! And? How is that possible? I mean, you're me, but I am here, and you were there. The other half crawled a little bit further out from under the bed so they were up to their torso. And you are there, but I am down here, the other half replied. But I am the real me. Surely that means you know what's going on, right? Well, I don't. I guess that means we could just hang out? Speechless, awkwardness. Is that a bit of blushing too? Various theories, ideas, plans, and questions circled their mind. It was like they were factory resetting their brain, and when it was done, they sighed as if letting out steam from overheating their brain. I guess, they said quite simply. Cool, so my name's... I already know your name. It's the same as mine. The other half chuckled. It was a strange chuckle, though, one that implied they knew more than they let on, or perhaps that they were suggesting that this was incorrect. So why are you here? The other half asked. In my bed? I was about to sleep when you randomly popped up. I meant something else, like why are you here and not there, or here, or elsewhere? What were the events which brought you here instead? The strange philosophical nature of their sentence could only be responded with one simple thing. What? Was the response uttered. Let's start with this morning. You remember this morning, right? The confusion was put on hold as they began to think of this morning. They were worried for at least 24 seconds because that is about how long it took them to remember anything. Well, I got out of bed, this bed actually, and then, breakfast? Wait, no, I made breakfast, but then I dropped it on the floor, they answered, chuckling afterwards. Yes, the breakfast. Focus on the breakfast. What did you make? Why did you make it and not toast, not waffles? Why your choice and not the others? The other half inquired again. Well, I made eggs and bacon. I don't know why I made it. Come to think of it, I only made it one other time. But why bacon and eggs? Think on it. Really think. It's what Mom used to make when the lights flickered but streaks of shadows appeared on the walls. It cut them off mid-sentence, like some kind of rude kindergartner demanding the attention like a fashion icon. There is a beauty to these shadows and to the sudden flickering of the lights. A beauty that created terrifying chills and raised hairs. This had to be a nightmare. A dream, and if so, then that must mean they have control. They decided to disregard their other self under the bed and wave their arms around towards the entrance to the door. Alas, there was no mother to come in. Mom made me bacon and eggs every morning after you had a bad day. Got bullied at school? The following morning you had bacon and eggs to look forward to. It's a shame that you had the same breakfast nearly 4 times a week, every week. A huge gasp was taken from a place where emotions lie in wait. It was one of those special gasps that can't happen from a sudden realization, sudden fear, or lack of air, but of something inside. Goosebumps covered their body. What was this feeling? What was happening? Not a dream, not a hallucination, not real? Was it those moments in your past which led to this exact moment? A moment with yourself to hear the past? The other self asked. Stop it. Was it because of what happened at 5:15 p.m. last Tuesday that led you to this bed at this time under these circumstances and no other? The other half continued. I said stop it. Your actions have consequences. You cannot stop that, so I implore you to discover which events have led you to here. What has created these consequences? This is ridiculous. Just kill me, or kiss me, or just throw objects around like a ghost. Just be something else, the original bargained. I cannot be anything. I can only be consequence. Your consequences. If you would rather me leave and never return, you must comply. You must accept and reflect. Reflect on what? The original begged in annoyance. What has led you here? Sleep? Being tired? I just need a comfy place to lay my head after a long day, okay? No. Those would bring you here any night. Every night, in fact. And what wouldn't bring me here every night? Certainly not a day filled with even just one thing I want to happen. I mean, look at what is happening right now. I just want you to go away, and of course that won't happen. I wanted the lights off, but I couldn't have that. Before that, I just wanted to be tired, and of course, wouldn't you know it, that didn't happen either. And before that, 0 promotions, hundreds of awful customers, and a stained uniform for half of my shift, when all I wanted was a promotion, a quiet day, and plenty of rest. The original ranted. They paused, and their other self remained quiet, knowing the original had more to say. The original took a few more breaths and continued with a new realization. I don't want to be tired, but I am. I always am. They began to cry and grab onto their knees. The lights flickered, and the shadows moved around spectacularly. So the events which led you here are what? What have you discovered? The other half questioned. Me. It's me, they answered between tears. The events that led me here was everything I did. I made so many mistakes, forcing me into this place of anger and sadness. I try to blame everyone else, maybe even the universe as a whole, but I know it's my own fault. I've chosen to put myself here. Maybe not everything I can choose or control or whatever, but I can choose how I am. I can choose if I give 2 fucks about my job or this shitty place or you. So with all this giving no fucks, why do you give a fuck? The other asked. Because if I stopped giving a fuck, I wouldn't have any fucks. A sudden burst of laughter at the ridiculousness of their own sentence took over them both. When their laughter settled, they wiped the tears off their face and laid more comfortably in bed. They stared at the ceiling as if to speak to it instead of their other self. What I mean is, if I stopped caring, I wouldn't have anything to care about. I wouldn't have this place to sleep. I wouldn't have had breakfast to spill in the first place. I wouldn't have anything but darkness. Click. The lights went out, and there was no fear to follow it. A sense of comfort came with the darkness instead. They rolled over in bed and looked down at their other self under the bed. I got that light for you. I feel much better now, they spoke. The original smiled and rolled back over in bed, to which sleep arrived not a moment later. And there you have it. There's a typo right here where wiped is. It's supposed to be 1P, not 2. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little short story there. It's just a funny little goofy thing. The concept is literally just you have to have a conversation with yourself, but they're under your bed. Instead of the monster being under the bed, you're under the bed. That's right. Better check under your bed for a clone of yourself. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just rambling, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. Regardless, if you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, or doing any number of those wonderful things like that. Because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.